Hello, today I'll be teaching you how to add on to the ROBLOX chat filter. To begin, you first need to run your ROBLOX game. This is so we find the chat modules and copy them. These will only show up while in game, so that's why we need to do this. We can now copy them into the chat in the studio. This will make them pop up, and this will replace the original because it looks like we already created it. The chat modules are a small piece of a rather large system, this being the Lua Chat System, which is the brain behind the whole entire ROBLOX chat. It handles things like messaging, filtering messages, translating them, and even making them pop up. It's very, very complicated. The chat modules are part of one of my personal favorite parts of the chat system, which handle commands like /edance and private messaging. As you can see, all of the modules that handle these are right here. And to add on to the filter, we'll be creating our own. First thing you have to do is create a new module script inside of the chat modules, and it doesn't matter what you name it, but I'll be naming it custom filter, and I'm just gonna set up a template for the script. So how creating these commands or other data relating to the chat works is we have a function called run, and then we return it. There's a script within the chat system which basically just goes through all these modules and then calls these run functions. So this takes one parameter, and that's the chat service. And the chat service is basically what's going to allow us to intercept a message before it has been processed and put into the chat, so we can filter it. To filter messages, we use the chat service register filter message function, which is a long name for something that's pretty simple. It basically gives us the message object so we could do whatever we want with it. Now, the first parameter is a string that's bound to. So I'll just call this command bind, and I'll do custom underscore filter. You can name that whatever you want, as long as it's not being used in another chat module, so it doesn't interfere with any systems that ROBLOX already put in place. Now, the second parameter is the function that we'll be using to filter it with. So I'm going to define a new function here called filter, and I'm just going to put it in here. Now, we'll take the message object parameter, and what I'll do is create a table of all the words in the message by using the split function, which will split this by its spaces, so we get all the words in whatever it is that the person chatted. So for index word in pairs, words do, and we're gonna want to define a variable called change, which is basically going to indicate whether the message has to be filtered or not. And just like this. So now we can create a table of all the blacklisted words. And let's say you really, really don't want people to say hello in your game. That's a pretty bad example, but it'll do. So now we can loop through all the blacklisted words like so. And now we basically want to know whether or not this is a blacklisted word. So to make it easier, we will put all these words in their lowercase form so they could be matched more easily. If word match blacklisted, and by the name of that function, it's pretty self-explanatory what it does, but yeah. So changed equals blacklisted, and we're going to break the loop so it stops looking to change the message. Now we're going to change this index in the table so it changes that word out for something else. So I'll create a variable which will basically be just the hashtag symbol so that we will be able to censor the word, and it's going to be equal to tag rep and then the number of characters within the changed string. This rep function basically just repeats this character this character as many times as is specified, and then we're going to directly change the message that is being sent, which is message object.message equals table.concat words and then a space, which is basically just going to create a string that puts a space in between each index of this table. So now I'm just going to run my script in Studio and see if it works or not. If it doesn't work, we could go back, change something. I'm going to say hello, and as you can see, it just tagged like it was supposed to, but you may be wondering, well, is there a way to bypass this? Well, if we say hello like this, it's still going to tag, or if I say hello, but then, let's say an R at the end, so it's hello, try to trick it, it's still going to tag it. And you could say as many times as you want, hello, world, and it's not going to tag world. And you could do hello, arc, cosine, how are you, and say hello after that, and it'll tag both of them. If we even string them together, like this, it's just going to tag all of that. So, hope you liked the video. If you did, remember to like and subscribe if you found it educational or just entertaining. Bye.